So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be doing Q&A video number 3. I haven't been a chance to get around to doing this video, but now I do have a chance, so let's get into some of the questions that you guys asked me. I think I have 16 questions here, so we'll start with the first question here, which is from this YouTuber's name here, and it says, who do you think is stronger in Super Saiyan Blue form, Vegeta or Goku? I do want to say Vegeta, but I know Goku's stronger. Goku's always going to be stronger than Vegeta. It's just, that's how Dragon Ball is. That's how Akira Toriyama makes it. Goku is the #1 and will always be the strongest in the Dragon Ball universe. So as much as I would love it for it to be Vegeta, it's always going to be Goku. He's always going to be a step ahead of Vegeta. Sometimes Vegeta does surpass him, but Goku just surpasses him again and becomes even more powerful. So I say Goku is stronger in Super Saiyan Blue form. So the next question here is from this YouTuber. There's his name there. And it says, what are your top 3 Mezco 112 figures? So I've only owned 11 so far. My favorite, hands down, is the red suit Daredevil. That is my favorite that I've gotten in the line so far. And I think my second favorite would have to be maybe the Punisher. And then I'd have to go either with the Joker or the Ben Affleck Batman. So, and the regular Ben Affleck Batman, not the armored one. I never had that one. So those are probably my top 3 or 4 as of right now in the Mezco 112 line. I'm pretty sure there will be some more figures that'll be much better than a few of those that I've mentioned. Even, I'm not saying Daredevil's, I forgot to say this, I'm not just saying Daredevil's my favorite as of right now because he's one of my favorite comic book characters. They really did an excellent job with that figure, and it is by far my favorite in the line so far. So that is that question. Moving on to the next one here. Here is the YouTuber's name who asked this question, and they said, or asked, do you think SH Figure Arts will make a Zabuza and a Killer Bee? And I'm pretty sure they will over time. They'll make both those characters. Would like to see Zabuza, am I even saying his name right? I'd like to see him before Killer Bee though. Killer Bee is cool, but I think Zabuza is a much better, cooler character, and I love his sword too. Would like to see that sword in SH Figure Arts form with Zabuza. So that is that question. The next one here is from this YouTuber. There's your name. And they have asked me, if you had any kids, would you let them play with your figures? Hell no. I would buy them like the cheaper version of that character or something and let them play with those toys. I would not let my kids anywhere near my collection. No way. I would not let them play with my toys. I feel like they'd break them. And these toys are really expensive. You know what I mean? So definitely wouldn't. I know a lot of people do let their kids like hold their figures and stuff, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't. So the next question here is from this YouTuber, and they asked, what does your girlfriend think of your figure collecting hobby, and does she like it? She doesn't mind it at all. She thinks it's fine. She'd rather me collect figures than do other things that are not good, you know what I mean? Like, you could be wasting your money on worse stuff, but you're buying figures, you know? You're just collecting figures. She really doesn't care for, like, she doesn't care for the hobby. It doesn't bother her or anything. She's fine with me collecting figures, and that's definitely cool. And does she like it? She don't really care about it, you know? She has like a couple of Funko Pops, but she doesn't really care about them either. So she doesn't really care about my collection, but she doesn't mind it at all. All right, so the next question here from this YouTuber there. And they asked, who is your favorite admiral in One Piece and why? I'd have to go with, I can't remember his name. We first see him in the blind guy who has that like gravity type power. He's so awesome. Yeah, he's definitely my favorite admiral in One Piece. He's just a badass character, and he actually tries to stand for what the Marines are supposed to stand for, unlike a few other admirals. But yeah, definitely him. I can't remember his name, but he's the blind guy with the sword. Aokiji's also another one of my favorites. I hate Akainu, however you say his name. Akainu, I think. I hate him, the guy who's like in charge right now. And I don't like the other guy who has the light power. I don't like him either. The light devil fruit, I believe it is. So that is that question. Now the next one here from this YouTuber right there. And they asked, what would you think of an amazing Yamaguchi Hulk? I'd be all for it. I actually like the way the shoulder joints look on the Venom figure more than any of the other figures. Well, actually, I really like the way the Spider-Gwen shoulder joints look. They don't look as bad as Deadpool and Spider-Man, but the Venom one doesn't look that bad either. But I think a amazing Yamaguchi Hulk would probably be an awesome figure added into that line. I would like to see them give it a try. So that's that question. The next one here is from this YouTuber right there. And they asked, do you watch the DC Arrowverse TV shows? If you don't, then why? If you do, which is your favorite? Arrow, The Flash, DC Legends of Tomorrow, or Supergirl? I watched half of them, the other half I didn't watch. I haven't watched DC Legends of Tomorrow or Supergirl, but I watched Flash and I watch Arrow, and I used to like Arrow more than Flash, but I actually like the Flash's series a lot more than Arrow now. I still do like Arrow, but sometimes with Arrow it just gets a little bland, or like I don't know, but I do like the Arrow series, but I prefer the Flash more over Green Arrow. But yeah, they're good shows. I enjoy them. I'm a little behind on. I started watching the first few episodes of season 4 on Arrow. I think they just started season 5, or they're about to. And Flash, I'm currently watching season 3 right now, and I know they're on season 4. So that is that question. And the next question here from this YouTuber, you bastard. Just kidding. He asked, what would happen with your One Piece and DBZ collection if Mezco decides to step into the game? My DBZ would stay, like how the SH Figure Arts. I love Mezco, but I don't love them as much as SH Figure Arts right now. SH Figure Arts is still my favorite figure line. Mezco is pretty high up there though. They're either my second or third favorite. Yeah, I think Mezco might be my third favorite. Yeah, or second favorite, I mean. But my One Piece, the only way I'll get rid of my Variable Action Heroes One Piece figures is if Tamashii Nation steps in and starts and restarts their One Piece SH Figure Arts line, which they really need to do, because I don't like the scale of the Variable Action Heroes One Piece figures. I really hate collecting that scale, but it's the only figures that we're getting, articulated figures of the One Piece characters, and I really have no other choice because SH Figure Arts just decided to stop. So hopefully SH Figure Arts will continue it, but if Mezco started making them, I would collect them to see if I like them enough to maybe scrap the Variable Action Heroes One Piece figures, but I would never do it with my DBZ figures. Maybe I'll get a few characters here and there from Mezco for DBZ, but SH Figure Arts DBZ will always be like my top favorite line. So that's the answer to that question. Now the next one here from this YouTuber, and they asked, out of all the figures you own, which one would you like to see them remake? And it would have to be the SH Figure Arts Piccolo, the San Diego Comic-Con one, because I like the anime accurate colors. I would love to see Tamashii Nations remake Piccolo, because he desperately needs to be remade. He was like the first or second figure they ever made in the line. I think Super Saiyan Goku was first, the manga version of course, and I think Piccolo was next, and then we had the Cell Saga Gohan. So they really need to remake us a Piccolo. So that's the answer to that question. Now the next one here, how many do we have left? Oh, we have a decent amount left. The next one here is from this YouTuber, and they asked, who is your favorite superhero and who would you team up with if you were a superhero? Daredevil, Batman, Punisher, or Deadpool? My favorite superhero, I guess probably Daredevil. I love Deadpool also. He's one of my favorites, but I think maybe Daredevil is my favorite comic book character. Yeah, out of all the comic book figures I have and all the comic book characters I could think of, I think Daredevil is my favorite. His is the comics I've read the most of. I've read a decent amount of Deadpool, but Daredevil, I've read a ton of them. So I'd have to say Daredevil is my favorite superhero. And who would I like to team up with? Probably Batman, because out of those four, Daredevil, Batman, Punisher, and Deadpool, I feel like Batman would be the best one to team up with because he's freaking Batman. You know what I mean? You can't go wrong teaming up with Batman. So I'd have to say that. So that's the answers to those questions. Now the next question here from this YouTuber. And they asked, what Variable Action Heroes One Piece character would you like them to make? I did do a top 5 most wanted Variable Action Heroes One Piece figures I wanted made. And I really want them to make Frankie and Brooke. I want Frankie more over Brooke because I just want them to make both of them so we can complete the damn, at least time skip Straw Hats. I don't know if they're trying to do maybe the pre-time skip version of the Straw Hats. I do like that version of Frankie better though, the pre-time skip. Because I do like the way his hair looked more compared to how it looks now, even though he changes it for like every arc. But I would like to see a Frankie and a Brooke, but a character I would really like them to make is probably Jinbei. I'd really like to see how they would make a Jinbei in the Variable Action Heroes One Piece line. I think that would be a pretty badass figure. And I feel like if SH Figure Arts did start making One Piece figures again, that Jinbei would be able to blend in pretty well with the SH Figure Arts line. So I'd have to go with Jinbei on that one. Yep. Cause I would have said maybe Crocodile, but he's going to be next after Perona. So very happy about that, actually. All right, so that's the answer to that question. The next one here from this YouTuber there. And they asked, where do you see the SH Figure Arts Naruto line going forward after Madara is released? Well, we all know now that Jiraiya will be following Madara, but I could see them probably next year releasing more Naruto figures, like how eventually they did with the DBZ figures. Because we used to get a DBZ figure, like 3 of them each year, just like how we're getting the Naruto figures. We get about 3 or 4 each year. That's how we used to get the DBZ figures. Now we get like about 10 or more DBZ figures every year. And I feel like if the Naruto line keeps selling well, they'll start releasing more characters into the line each year that goes by. So I feel like we'll get more characters in the line in 2018. And who do I see them making? They'll probably make the first Hokage, and I feel like we're gonna get Pain. I feel like they'll make another version of Sasuke and Naruto, which I really hope they don't. I can wait for another version of both those characters. I'd like them to make more characters in the line. I would like to see them make a version of Minato without the coat, because that coat, I don't know, it just doesn't make me like the figure as much as I would if he didn't have that coat on, if you guys know what I mean. I mean, the coat's pretty cool, but I'd prefer cloth goods for like coats and capes and stuff. But yeah, I could see them making the first Hokage. I could see them making Pain. I could see them making Shikamaru. He's a really popular character. I'm hoping for a Neji. I don't know how popular he is in the Naruto universe, but he's my favorite character from Naruto, and I really want to see him made into the SH Figure Arts line. So him, I could see them making Might Guy soon, because I heard they were going to be making him, but we haven't seen nothing. We'll probably end up getting Sakura as well. We could possibly get Lady Tsunade. I'm trying to think of like the most popular characters. We already got like a bunch of them so far. Who else could we possibly get? I would love to see them make the second Hokage. Damn, what the hell's his name? I forgot a lot. There's so many characters, I forget their names. I'm actually rewatching Naruto Shippuden from the beginning, so I've taken more about the show, like how I am with One Piece and Dragon Ball Z. I'm still not even like that with One Piece yet. But yeah, I could see them making those characters. There's so many characters they can make. I hope they make all the Akatsuki members. My favorites is Hidan, Kakazu. Those two are some of my favorites. Pain is Itachi. We already got Deidara. I would love to see him. And the other ones I really don't care too much about. I know a lot of people love Obito, but I never really cared about his character, to tell you the truth. I mean, it was sad what happened to him, and I understand what he did, but I don't know, his character just, I don't know. There's other Akatsuki members that I thought were so much cooler and such better characters. But yeah, the SH Figure Arts Naruto line seems to be steering in the right direction, so I could see us getting more releases and a bunch of those characters I was mentioning. So that is the answer to that question. Now moving on to the next one here, and it is from this YouTuber right here. And they have asked, what is your favorite manufacturer for Marvel and DC figures? And what is your favorite Luffy figure, SH Figure Arts or Variable Action Heroes? And my favorite Luffy figure is the one we just recently got, the Marineford arc pre-time skip, Variable Action Heroes Luffy. That's my favorite Luffy figure that I ever owned, and I owned all three of them from the SH Figure Arts and both the VAH ones. So that's the answer to that question. And what is my favorite manufacturer for Marvel and DC figures? For Marvel, probably SH Figure Arts, and maybe SH Figure Arts for DC as well, because they're starting to make more DC stuff, which is definitely dope. I do like Mezco's Marvel and DC stuff as well. Mafex, it's always hit and miss, so I can't really throw them up there, but probably SH Figure Arts and the Mezco and 12 line. Those are probably my two favorites for Marvel and DC figures. Alright, so moving on to the last three questions. So the next one here is from this YouTuber. And they did ask, who is the best villain and the worst villain in DBZ? I'm just going to give my own personal opinion who my favorite villain is and who I think is the worst villain. I know a lot of people will probably hate me for this, but I never liked Boo. I never liked Boo as a villain. I never thought he was a good villain. He was too kiddie and just didn't seem serious enough like how Cell was and how Frieza was. He was a threat. Don't get me wrong. He was one hell of a threat, but he was just too kiddie to me. And I didn't like the way it took Dragon Ball Z from how it went from Saiyan Saga to Frieza's and then Cell, and then we get Boo. He was just, I really didn't expect him to be what he was, and he just, I don't know, that's my least favorite part in Dragon Ball Z, and just Boo has never been, that's my least favorite arc. He's just, I never liked him as a villain. I like him, the Fat Boo, I like him as like a good guy, like with the Z Fighters and everything, but I just never cared for Boo as a villain. So to me, that, I feel like he was the worst villain. I know a lot of people, that was their favorite villain. So that's your own personal opinion. This is my own personal opinion. So you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to not agree with me. So my favorite villain was probably, that's hard. It's either Frieza or Cell. They were both incredible villains. I mean, we had, I don't know who to choose between them. I loved both of them as villains. I think probably the Cell Saga was my favorite, but I think Frieza was probably the best villain. He was such an evil son of a bitch. He was. So I'd have to say Frieza was probably my favorite villain, the best villain that I thought was in DBZ. Alright, so that's the answer to those questions. The next question here from this YouTuber, and they asked, how is Dragon Ball Super for you up to this point? And I'm enjoying it. To me, it's definitely not as good as DBZ, but I'm having fun watching it, and I'm watching it every week when it comes on, and the tournament they're at right now, I'm really liking it, and I feel like we're going to head into it seems like they're going to be bringing us to a really big arc, and I don't know what's going to go on, but something fishy is going on with all these universes getting erased and stuff. So I really like the direction it's heading right now. I think this might be my favorite arc so far in Super, the one that we're at right now. So I am really enjoying Super very much so far, just not as much as DBZ, but it's not going to be DBZ. It's Dragon Ball Super. It's something different, you know. I'm just glad that we're getting some sort of Dragon Ball related content, a new anime of it right now. Like, I just think it's really cool. A lot of people complain about it and hate it, but I think it's dope that we're getting more Dragon Ball related stuff that Toriyama decided to bring back. So I just think it's cool. So that is that question. Now the last question here is from this YouTuber, And it says, what are your top 3 favorite fights in Naruto / Shippuden? So either in Naruto or in Naruto Shippuden. So my favorite fight is probably the Itachi and Sasuke fight. That's probably my favorite fight throughout the entire series. I loved that fight. There's so many good fights though in that series. It's so hard to choose, but that one is hands down my favorite. My second favorite is Naruto versus Pain. That was such a great fight. That was one of the best fights, hands down, throughout the entire series, both Shippuden and Naruto. Same with the Itachi versus Sasuke. And my third favorite under those two, maybe Gaara versus, Gaara versus Kinemaro. Well, Naruto / Rock Lee / Gaara versus Kinemaro. I thought that was an excellent fight. I really loved that fight. That's probably my third under the Naruto versus Pain, and then the Sasuke versus Itachi. Those are those, I would have to say those. I really did enjoy the Jiraiya versus Pain fight as well. I thought that, no, wait. Sorry, I take that back. My third one is definitely going to have to be when Asuma, what's his name? Asuma, the guy who, the teacher, the sensei for Shikamaru and them. When him and Shikamaru, and then eventually it was Kakashi, Shikamaru, Naruto and them, when they all went against Kakazu and Hidan. That was my third favorite fight. I really loved that part in Naruto Shippuden. I thought that was great. So those are my 3 favorite fights. I did like the other 2 that I mentioned before, Jiraiya versus Pain, and then when Rock Lee, Naruto, and Gaara fought Kinemaro. That's another one. So that'd be my top 5 actually. So that is all the questions that I got for now. If you guys want to ask me some more questions, just comment it in the comments below, and then I will answer them in the Q&A video number 4. So anyway, that is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that bell icon. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs up anyway, because action figures are awesome. But thanks for watching. I will see you later.